Welcome to the Big Fat Gay Podcast, where we like to talk about the things that are weighing on our minds. My name is Michael Willer, and today I am a grateful work boy. I got to actually take a little bit of a break this week, and after 3 weeks of going to sleep at 7 a.m, that is something to be very, very grateful for.
Yay! My name is Don Marshall. I am a big chubby guy here in sunny Hollywood, and I am a thankful work boy because I'm not working today.
My name is Dan Oliverio. I'm an author, public speaker, chubby chaser, and today I am a sunny chaser. I am. It is a lovely day, and we had a lovely Thanksgiving, although highly secluded.
Yes.
And but yeah, it was good, wasn't it, baby?
Yes. And I'm Trevor Keyson. I'm a super chub, and today I'm a chilly boy because it is very chilly here in sunny Los Angeles. And I mean, part of that is we have all stone floors, so it like super chills everything.
It just radiates up through your feet.
Yeah.
You do realize when you introduce yourself as a chili boy, at least a quarter of our audience is picturing you smothered in chili.
I mean, I could be. They don't know. It's an audio medium.
Although I should say he restricts the chili baths to just a couple of times a month.
I do have a funny chili story that I don't think I may have told Dan once. So many years ago, we had a placeholder couch that we got from IKEA.
Oh, that
was like faux black leather, and I spilt a bowl of chili on it. And then I just kind of like scraped it back in and wiped it down, but it was fake. Fake Swedish leather, so it was fine.
Yeah, it's resilient stuff. You could light it. You could pull a blowtorch to it, and it would hold up.
I mean, as long as you have a squeegee, nothing stains it.
Why do I have the feeling there are worse things on that couch over time?
So, welcome back, everybody. It's good to be back. Thank you, by the way, for letting me take a quick little break while I had this crazy work period. I feel much refreshed and excited to get back to doing the show on a weekly basis. We have changed it up a little bit. We are recording on a Saturday.
Yeah, whole different
exciting.
energy. I love that Michael's idea of a vacation is more work. It's like he did actually get like I guess a week of slight rest, just slightly less work.
Slightly less. I had to. I was literally going to sleep at 7 a.m. I do it to myself. Don't feel too bad for me. But it was a little too much. It was too much all at once. But we're back. Yep. We're fat, and we're here to stay.
I mean, it's not like anything interesting happened in November anyway, right? I mean, we didn't miss anything while we were gone.
Oh man,
no, not at all.
I think that is the perfect, I think, lead in, because I didn't put this on our original outline, but it's something I prepared and I went back and forth about it. But it is I think I can do it in under 30 seconds, recap of some fat phobia in the news.
Oh, fun.
In November.
All right. 30-second recap. Should I set the timer?
I don't know. I'm scared. So I don't want to start like panicking. So it'll probably be under 30 seconds.
I'm recording over my phone, so that wouldn't work anyway.
Michael will probably put in some 60 minutes ticking under this. Aging twink Anderson Cooper compared Trump to an obese turtle stuck on its back in the sun. I don't believe someone that pale has ever seen the sun. Actress Keke Palmer suggested that EBT cards should only work on healthy foods. If she spent less time defending her horrible takes on Twitter and more time focused on her career, maybe more people would know who I'm talking about. And finally, New York Mayor Andrew Cuomo blamed rising COVID cases on people not following social distance guidelines and masking, saying, "It's all self-imposed. If you didn't eat the cheesecake, you wouldn't have a weight problem." With that short temper and waning support, we might have to remind him that it's all self-imposed after the next gubernatorial election.
Gubernatorial?
Oh, sorry. Gubernatorial election.
I like gubernational.
Or gubernasty.
I think maybe that's how we refer to a Mississippi election.
Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Yes. Yeah, it was literally something every week. And I was like, oh God, I'm kind of relieved that we don't have to talk about this. But there you go, 30 seconds.
So first up on the agenda, we have some good news, and I think this is actually going to lead us into some competition for the Chubbies coming up next year.
True.
Yes.
But Melissa McCarthy won. She didn't win an award, but she was named one of the best actors of the 21st century by the New York Times.
Yes, I think it was I mean, they didn't. It was a field of like the top 25 actors or something like that.
Yeah, the 25 greatest actors of for the 21st century. And I didn't realize this. She has been busy. I actually haven't seen her. Like, I haven't actually watched a Melissa McCarthy movie in a while, but she has done several movies a year, including, apparently she had quite a busy 2020.
Well, and the other point the article makes is that the diversity of her roles has been really amazing.
It's so broad.
Yeah, it really
every
showcases
genre.
her. And it's so nice to see, like, oh, she's not just a funny fat lady. Like, there's so much depth and breadth there. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah. Her
Well,
Oscar nominated.
The talent is not surprising. You know, there have been plenty of incredibly talented fat people over the years.
Oh, of
it's
course,
that someone's finally giving them a chance. You know, and yeah, she had to throw a few elbows to get there, but thank God she did. You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's fucking hilarious. And congratulations to Melissa McCarthy.
Yes.
That just makes me think of the Chubbies episode we did earlier this year. God, it feels like last year, though, doesn't it?
We might want to remind people that the Chubbies were our awards for Chubs and Chaser in media.
We gave a whole bunch of Chubbies
awards,
out.
Yeah, we gave everybody Chubbies.
Yes.
Everybody who listened. Yes. So
Long pause.
Yes. But well, speaking of fat actors getting chances, oh God, I'm sorry. I don't know. That just feels weird saying that. Amber Riley is going to be starring in Dream, a musical comedy in the works at NBC, which I love Amber Riley. I'm glad to see.
Can you remind me who Amber Riley is?
yeah, where would we know her from?
She's the big girl
Glee.
from Glee.
Okay.
Glee.
Basically, every time they needed a big voice, they wheeled her out, points her at the camera, let her loose.
Oh, I thought that was Alex Newell's job.
I can see what you were paying attention to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. What do we know? What the show is about?
Yes.
It's a musical comedy. We know that.
Yes. So Riley, when her son graduates from college, former teen mom, Dream Morgan, turns her life upside down to pursue her dream of becoming a singer.
Oh, nice.
I like that.
So we'll take advantage of her chops, give her a spotlight starring role. That's awesome.
I'm curious when they say musical comedy, if it's like a comedy and there's going to be musical numbers, or if it's more going to be like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, where the music, like, I don't know.
Do they
like-
spontaneously break into song?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
how they integrate the musical element if it's part of
That's always the challenge, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think it's less of a, like, it almost doesn't matter as much anymore. Like before you saw a lot of musicals on TV, like I would say in the last like 5 or so years, it's become a lot more prominent. But like now, I almost feel like it doesn't even really matter. Like people aren't really going like, oh wait, why are they singing? Like it's expected enough.
Let's see. Our last piece of pop culture.
Yeah, and more good news. I'm liking the positive vibes that we have going on here.
Yay.
Yeah. Good things happen.
Yeah, Gabrielle Sidibe is engaged to marry Brendan Frankel. I don't know who he is, but he's a cute little guy who looks adorable, and I'm glad they're so happy together. And he said of the couple, like, "Oh, I'm marrying my best friend," which is always a good sign.
Yeah.
He's super cute and apparently works in public relations and marketing or something like that.
I didn't recognize her name, but she was the lead actress in Precious, which, full disclosure, I don't think we've talked about this on the show before. I haven't seen that. Have you guys seen that movie?
I haven't.
Yeah, it's
I know her primarily from American Horror Story, where she plays one of the witches in Coven, which we've talked about on the show.
I thought Precious was an amazing movie. I really did, but it's not an easy one to watch.
Yeah, that's why I
told.
haven't watched it.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the final place you get is ultimately uplifting. But Monique in that movie, there's a reason why she was nominated for an Academy Award. She was terrifying and difficult to watch. But the performances turned by both of them and the respect they paid to both actors like letting them really do the work and practice the craft was amazing. So
I feel like I definitely have more resilience to, like, I've had to watch so many like lighter movies and comedies over the last year, but now
why has it got to be a lighter movie, man?
Not necessarily physically lighter. There's always OnlyFans. But that's awesome. That's lots of fat actresses getting lots of work and recognition.
Yes.
All about
things
it.
are happening.
And speaking of fat performers,
Yes.
Yay.
We're back. So that means
Lizzo
Watch
2020.
2020.
It's still 2020. Oh my God.
One
It
of the
goes
last
on
ones.
and on and on.
I'm actually going to have a hard time saying Lizzo Watch 2021 when it comes.
It's going to
to
sound
that.
so wrong. It's going to.
Yeah.
It's going to be that thing where you're writing like a signing a receipt or check or something, and you have to you write
Cross
the
it
wrong
out.
year, and then you got to make a 0 into a 1.
Yeah.
I think you could get away with like Lizzo Watch 2020 year 2.
Yes.
Oh, the sequel. Lizzo Watch 2020, the sequel.
Yes.
I don't know how helpful that would be though, because right now it feels like we're in 2020 part 4. So
Oh, that's true. Anyway, what's going on in the world of Lizzo?
So Lizzo shared a really powerful TikTok talking about the downside of the roller coaster of fame.
Hey, I'm just logging on to say you can be like the coolest, most richest person ever, and it doesn't buy you fucking happiness. Money doesn't buy you happiness. Fame only puts a magnifying glass on the shit that you already have. And if that shit is fucked up, you're just gonna have even more magnified fucked up shit in situations where it doesn't even seem valid or like you're even like supposed to feel that way, and so it fucks you up even more because you feel super fucking ungrateful. So I'm just telling everyone now, like anyone who has like internal issues or has like any type of self problems that they need to work out now, because money, fame, or success, or even getting older doesn't really fix that shit. You need to just like do the inner work, because no matter where you are, it's always going to haunt you like a fucking ghost. And I'm working on it too, but today is just not a good day, and I just want everybody to know that it's okay to not have a good day even when it seems like you should.
I like that she uses social media as a way to, like, especially when we first started talking about her and she had left Twitter because of all the hate that she was getting and the judgment. Like, I like that she's able to repurpose social media as a way to empower herself and work through her own stuff and also inspire other people who follow her. Like, she's really turned around a situation that's pretty heinous at the start. And I don't know, like we've gotten so much joy just from like listening to the things that she said and watching her twerk in the sunset.
Speaking of twerking in the sunset, so I almost feel like this. I partially manifested this through the wishes I put out here in Lizzo Watch. But there are 2 videos that I put them in the outline as like meditation, because she posted a video of her twerking in the sunset to gentle flute music, which we're getting closer to that Lizzo twerking gentle flute Christmas thing. This is. I have to manifest it harder.
It's very scenic. It's
scenic. It's peaceful. It's just like after seeing the TikTok about working through stuff, I think this video of her twerking in the sunset with gentle flute music is a good space to meditate. There was also another one of her. It's more kind of like noonday time, sun on her in front of the ocean, vibing with flute music. So if you need some meditation, check these out.
Or if you need
on the website,
a background loop to play on your phone.
Yes.
Just pop it open whenever you're feeling stressed about the world.
And finally, what day is this coming out? December 2nd?
Yeah, something like that.
We're still in November here in recording land.
Yeah.
We just had Thanksgiving. We're still working through probably some turkey sandwiches. But Lizzo shared her homemade vegan Thanksgiving, and it was just, I was surprised at the food and how much she cooked, and like kind of it was a TikTok, so it's like sped up and like, but it was a nice spread. Once again, I am not a big vegan food person because pea protein destroys my insides. I don't know what it is. And a lot of vegan meats are based in pea protein.
Yeah. She has this one recipe as part of many of Brussels sprouts with a bunch of, I think, like some vegan cheese sprinkled on top. And it made me think of, if you want it now, I have an alternate for you. I have an alternate version for you, which is... Wow. I watched this YouTube channel called Binging with Babish where he does various.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Did you see this? He did a Thanksgiving episode very recently, and one of the dishes he came up with that he was in love with, or no, somebody else came up with that he did on the show, was he put a bunch of halved Brussels sprouts in a tray, seasoned, salt, olive oil, whatever, and then put strips of bacon on top of it, and roasted it in the oven so that the bacon cooks and soaks into the Brussels sprouts.
Absolutely.
Yes, and oven bacon.
Yes.
This is an acceptable way to perform Brussels sprouts. Yes.
And the Brussels sprouts got toasted on the outside and crispy the way you want them. And they tasted like bacon. Go do it.
Yeah.
And that's our vegan recipe for the day.
I've actually had a bag of Brussels sprouts in my freezer for about 2 years that I just can't figure out what to do with.
Well, now you can.
I don't know. I think at this point, the thing you do with them is just toss them.
Throw them out.
They're frozen.
Or draw a circle and play marbles. I don't know.
Or use them in a slingshot,
Go full Dennis the Menace.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Take out cats and streetlights.
Alrighty, kids. So today's episode, since we are rolling into December and we all know what December rolls into, Christmas and gift giving and gift receiving. So today we decided that we're going to talk about some of the products that we've found that we think are maybe interesting that perhaps you would like to consider for your Christmas celebration. And
for your chub or your Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is remember Oprah? Remember when Oprah was on TV and she'd have like her big kind of giveaway episodes? It's not like that. Don't look under your chair. There's nothing there. But I think it's kind of in the same spirit, the Christmas spirit, the holiday spirit, the Hanukkah spirit, whatever your Yuletide spirit is.
Yeah.
Things we like, things we want, things we would like to give. So who wants to start out?
I just want to
Michael.
Well, I can go first too, but I was just going to add a slight addendum to that, which I came up with some favorite things, but I was inspired by this, literally the song. Here are a few of my favorite things. And so I expanded a little bit too into other things that I like in the world of fat that aren't necessarily.
Oh my God, is this our musical episode?
Yes. And 3, 2, 1.
These are my favorite things.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll go first. Sure. I'll start with one that we haven't talked about on the show yet, I don't think, but it's really simple. It's the simplest thing. Trevor, when we used to be able to hang out back in the days of, me driving my friends around and going to dinner and movies and all that stuff. I have still a small little Honda Civic. It's barely holding up at this point. I'm sure the front passenger side is just sort of like slowly like sinking down on the shocks. But to accommodate my larger passengers at one point, or I think to accommodate himself really, Trevor got a seatbelt extender. And it's such a simple thing, but I think the anxiety of like having to be in somebody else's vehicle that you don't necessarily know if you're going to be able to fit in or sit in comfortably. At the very least, you can make it safe.
So I got it for myself, but also like I know the company that Michael keeps, and I know that like if it's an issue for me, I know the company that Michael keeps, so it is the gift that keeps on giving,
and it has
and receiving.
And it's a really great if you are a chub and you wish to give something to a chase in your life. I don't think it works quite as well giving it to a chub, but giving it to a chaser in your life, I think is an excellent way because you're going to benefit from it if you're the chub.
I noticed they also sell versions for airplanes. So if you hate, like I hate having to ask for a seatbelt extender on an airplane. Yeah. I hate it. So I wouldn't mind having one for that.
So little tutorial about that. The airlines, if they catch you doing it, will not let you because they have to provide the extender by FAA regulations.
Oh, really?
But if you just end up with one and they don't catch you, it works just fine. The other thing is that the other reason that I think the seatbelt extender makes such a great gift for the chaser is that they tend to be automobile specific, or at least they can be car company specific. So if, Trevor giving Michael a seatbelt extender, he knows it works in his car because he looked when he bought it online, it works for this car. There is no such thing really as a universal seatbelt extender, although they say there is, but what they mean is they'll give you a bunch of different seatbelt
there's
adapters.
there's like 3 different major types of car seatbelt like clicker things.
Okay.
Because they're made by 3 companies.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But yeah, I just thought that was a nice practical gift to start us off.
Excellent.
Nice.
So I did a deep dive into this, and I got to say, I kind of failed. I wasn't excited by a lot of the stuff that was marketed to me. I was telling these guys I wasn't sure if I was going to share this on the podcast, but I have to. Okay, so I go out, I do searches for fun things for fat people, and not just on the first site I go to, but the first 2 sites I go to. The first item they list are oversized coffins.
Well, I mean,
it's a
that
thing.
sounds fun.
Don, you can't spell funeral without fun.
We've tried.
It's my favorite line ever from any show is from Drawn Together. Can't spell slaughter without laughter.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It's delivered by Strawberry Shortcake. It's
So-
awesome.
Oh, I love that character. I love that character.
Is that your gift though? Or
No. I just want to point out, I have 4 things here, and only one of them is something I would consider fun. The other 3 are sort of useful. So the first one I'm going to lead off with is one of the reasons I stopped using bicycles was because those damn bike seats always hurt my ass. They are not well geared to a larger posterior, and those of you who know me know I have a larger posterior. And so they sell a series of different oversized bike seats that have sort of double width, extra padding, and constructed for the wider posterior. And all I could think was if they had this when I was younger, I might still be biking now.
Oh, you could bike now.
Well, I don't have a bike now. So if someone gave me the bike seat, it would be a little disappointing.
I have just the seat for you.
That's the worst pickup line ever.
you can always just take that bike seat right off and
Oh, dear.
Wow. Is that why you're always smiling when you're biking?
Oh, dear.
What I do is I think you get the bike seat, you take it into the bike shop and say, I want a bike to go around my seat.
oh my.
Yeah, and to throw in a quick, because the oversized bike seat is not that exciting, I'll throw in my other not so exciting item that sounded useful: oversized umbrellas.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
Yeah.
So this is a neat idea. Now, I think it's not that necessarily we need larger umbrellas for ourselves. So there's nothing wrong if you do. But I find when I'm walking with an umbrella, I'm often the one person with the umbrella, and somebody else is trying to get it under there with me.
Yeah, because you're tall.
And so
yeah.
I could share this umbrella with someone else and not be exposing half my body to the wet.
Mm-hmm.
This is nice. I like this idea. Now, I live in Southern California,
say.
so I will never be able to use this thing.
It's when are you ever going to really use that?
You use it as a bird bath is what you're saying.
Exactly. But when I lived in New England, that would have been a nice thing to have.
Fair enough.
No, I like that. I would only give the caveat that if you're going to get a large umbrella, I highly recommend that it is ventilated so the wind does not carry it away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's wise.
Because they just become sails.
Absolutely. Yeah. Am I next?
I think you're next.
You are next.
Okay, so Michael heartlessly and cruelly stole my idea of the seatbelt extender because I think that is the perfect chaser gift. And then I had a number of stuff that Trevor won't let me mention on air.
I just think it's not if you say they don't make good Christmas gifts, I wouldn't include them in this list. We have many other times where we give
they're
tips for
terrible
items.
Christmas gifts, but they are so useful. So we'll put them in a future episode as tips. Is what Trevor has told me.
These things would start a fight on Christmas morning. So.
Oh no, you cannot! No, you cannot give these as gifts.
I am
you
so
cannot.
interested.
You cannot.
Because everyone would want one? I
No,
wanna know.
because they are intimate in their use. And let's just say you would really have to have a special relationship with an especially out fat person to give or receive this gift. Anyway, or it's the thing you buy for yourself.
Be
Let's put it
flexible
that
with
way.
the rules here. I don't think these all have
Are we
to be
talking
gifts.
marital aids?
No, we're
No.
not talking marital aids.
I don't know. I mean, I guess go for it. It's something where it's maybe this is a Christmas gift.
Dan,
from
just give
you
us one.
to
Think
Give us
about
yourself.
the
one. Give us a
audience,
taste.
Trevor. Think about the radio.
Here's all I know. It is an incredibly useful device, and you would never give it as a gift.
This
So
is
should
something
I
you
talk-
buy for yourself, maybe
Gift
as a
to
listener.
yourself. A gift to yourself is a thing.
So, and it's very inexpensive. So, all right. So this now obligates us to put the link for it in the
We
in
don't
the
know
episode.
what you're
description.
talking about.
I know. You want to know? You want to know? You really want to
Yeah,
know?
just do it. Just do it.
For God's sakes.
So, okay. So many fat men have the problem that it's when you urinate, you can't put your dick between your thighs. It's very difficult to get your equipment into the bowl. So very often the penis ends up either on top of the seat or peeing through that awful space between the seat and the bowl. Just because there's just no place for the junk. So this is a little sort of device that fits over the front of the toilet and toilet seat, so that if you happen to shoot directly out, it will contain the urine and put it back down in the bowl.
I love Don's face right now. It is like glee and wonder and awe and
These are things I've never considered.
But I mean, I know a lot of fat guys who absolutely have this problem. I hear about it. I see it.
Wow.
And it's a piece of plastic that costs, I don't know, $10, maybe not even. And
Still, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that was invented and patented by a fat man. So if you buy this product, you're supporting fat money. So that's a good thing.
I just think it's one of the most useful thing I've seen. It's such a simple solution for such a difficult and awkward problem.
it's a stocking stuffer.
Yes,
Urine
I will
guards.
say if I pulled that out of my Christmas stocking, we might have words.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way to give this as a gift to anyone but yourself, and you probably
Like, this
don't want
fucking
it.
thing touched all my candy, you bastard.
It's just a piece of molded plastic. But again, I don't think it's the kind of thing where you go like, "Oh, look what Santa brought me."
I think there's another gift behind the tree with your name on it.
It's a new toilet.
So anyway, a very cheap solution to a rather difficult
Can I
and
tack
awkward problem.
a bidet onto the end of that just as a side
Sure.
note? Just because
Yeah.
that's not really a good gift either, but they're very, very useful, and I'll never go back.
Yeah.
I also think it's like I don't necessarily want someone to associate me with, water blasting up their ass every day.
I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that, Michael. Ooh.
Well,
Do you feel this rush of water and you're like, oh, what's Michael doing?
So, Dan, since you are not going to suggest the pea guard,
I have an alternate.
what is your alternate, Dan?
So my alternate is something that Trevor uses at least weekly, and they are these wonderful gripping socks. So a lot of people have hard floors, and they have these socks, and these are from the company called Bombas. And Trevor uses them for Pilates, but what I like about them is they're really fun. They're really festive. They're occasionally useful because some of them have these treads on the bottom, these little silicone treads, so that you can kind of use them as indoor slipper shoes. But they also come in like regular socks, like you use them for dress. And if you have a special person in your life who needs compression socks, who ever heard of a stylish compression sock, right? Mm-hmm. So some of them, they also have a few versions that are compression socks, and they're gorgeous designs. They're really fun. Socks can sound boring, but these are kind of cool.
I know someone who absolutely needs these, given that we have hardwood floors here.
Oh yeah, because a big boy on a hardwood floor and socks. I mean, it can just be. It could be a physics experiment where they take away the friction.
It becomes.
Well, I will say, as the wearer of these socks, I have enormous feet.
Oh yeah.
And actually received these as a gift from my Pilates instructor. And she was like, "Oh, there's these socks, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh no, like they're not going to fit. Like I wear, a 1360, like it's not going to fit." And they do, and they're wonderful, and they're cute.
Yay.
Like if you have an ample-footed gentleman in your life, such as myself, they're great. And
did you say you have 13.6 feet?
Yes.
Yeah.
you are the first person I met with feet larger than mine. Like,
and he's a foot shorter than you.
Hello,
I know,
Trevor.
it's amazing. Yeah. No, he has hobbit feet.
Yes. Well, I guess it's my turn. So I think it's always tricky to buy clothing for a fat person, especially just because like nothing really ever fits. Something I found is even when I've received like pajamas or pajama pants that are the right size, the material doesn't really work because there's no stretch. And I discovered some amazing big and tall pajama pants that I am going to suggest as a gift. They're from DXL. It's Harbor Bay. They have a few different styles of these lounge pants that go up to 6X, and they are just so comfortable. I purchased several pairs because we're in the, I said I'm a chilly boy today. I am wearing some right now, and they have stretch, which is amazing because once again, after a certain point, I don't know why they decide fat people don't need stretchy pajamas, which you think that's kind of intuitive.
Have they seen fat people? I mean, yeah.
But it's great. And I feel like actually by the time this episode drops, the stock will be low because, it's Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Cyber Weekend, whatever. But I will link to some of them that are very comfortable, including these, they're like fleecy
flannel
print.
Oh, they're gorgeous. And they're so soft.
Yes, it is. They're so cozy. It's wonderful. So
I
wear
think
them.
I'm going to be taking a few of these tips home with me. And maybe I need to warn my boyfriend off of this episode so it doesn't spoil the surprise. So my next one, in the vein of clothing, which I realized after a few seconds that if we're doing fat centric gifts, it's probably going to have a lot to do with like lifestyle and stuff like that. But we've talked about them on the show before, but I'm just a fan. I don't actually know what the name of these are. We'll have to find the right link and share it on the website. But the suspenders we've talked about that go around your arm and down your back.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
For when you're at the protests.
Yeah.
Wait, explain what this is.
Pull your pants down.
As opposed to suspenders that go down your front and over your belly or under your belly, and it's uncomfortable or untenable. Like you have suspenders.
They never work. Yeah.
They go around your arm and your shoulder, and then down your back to hold the back of your pants up. So.
Which is usually where the slippage is.
Usually where the slippage is.
I could use this.
They're incredibly useful.
That's awesome.
And they're fairly easy to use as far as I've seen. Highly recommend. And we've talked about them before, but I thought they bore repeating because they solve some very tricky problems.
I would agree.
All right, so I'll give my last two real quick. So the first one, I actually do like this. Like this is handy. Like I'm that guy who goes and hangs out at the fire pit, and then I see those outdoor chairs, and I don't trust them. Like I just don't trust them. But there's a big line of outdoor chairs for bigger people that not only like I've seen just sort of like what they call out here in LA, they call them extra chairs. They're chairs that extras bring to sets and sit around on while waiting to get called to the set. Like these little folding canvas things. They make larger versions of that can support more weight. That's handy. But then I saw these versions that have like canopies and drink holders. I could be outside and be comfortable. What a concept. Yeah, so I love those things. So if you have a home and you have guests over frequently around like fire pits or outdoor events, like that might be a nice thing to keep around the home to make your larger guests feel welcome. Or just give one to me for Christmas.
Exactly. I really like the idea of keeping it like in reserve if you're going to do like outdoor seating or something like that, and you have larger friends, and your outdoor patio seating is, tiny and cheap and because something you just put out there. Yeah. I will say, because we have one of these we have one of these in storage because we don't do a lot of outdoor picnicking. And what I found as the person who is the guy in charge of moving it, they're fucking heavy.
Really?
Well, because they're not the little thing that your tiny friends lug around over there. So these motherfuckers are heavy. And so I would recommend that if you're going to, if you have it in mind, like, oh, I'm going to take it on set and I'll have something to sit in, I would recommend you also buy some sort of small little portable cart, like those little shopping carts. That it's how little ladies carry 1 or 2 bags of groceries home in New York.
Oh yeah.
So just so that you have something to kind of dolly it to and from a location, if you intend to use it portably, like if you're taking it to the beach or to a park. If you're just using it around your house or outdoors, it probably isn't a big deal. You just, pick it up and move it. But I would just say they're not as portable as you would think of when you think of a foldable chair.
So the last item I brought in, this is the one I actually am excited about. This is one I would love to have, but someone would have to buy me a yard first. I love hammocks. I love hammocks, but I don't trust them anymore because I am a larger man, and some of them do not look that sturdy. But I found this version online. It's a large size freestanding hammock, can hold up to 500 pounds, looks super comfy. And the idea of being able to sort of hang out in the backyard on a hammock, that just sounds incredibly appealing and something I haven't done in decades. So if you have fantasies of sitting in a hammock by the ocean or in your backyard, or you too can now make that fantasy come true.
I mean, this isn't Christmassy, but I think I've already violated that rule. I think your hammock makes me think of something else that's hammocky, but in a more sexual sense.
And moving on.
I'm just saying that could be a really fun gift
talked
too.
about slings on the show before.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's actually so at Bigger Vegas, one of the big Chub Chaser events, every time there's Bigger Vegas, there's someone who buys like a sex table and then tries to sell it by the end of the weekend.
What do you mean a sex table?
Like
What's a sex table?
I mean, it looks like kind of some of the Pilates equipment I use at the studios, but there's a platform and kind of bars that go up, and I think there's a space for a sling because at a hotel you can't drill into the ceiling to install a sling.
Yeah, they take a dim view of that.
It's an activity table, but
for horizontal activities.
It's not practical to like ship it back and forth, so they buy it, and then I think they either eat the loss or try to sell it to someone in the area
after it's been well used.
For sale, sex table never used.
I will say that this is a problem that if you go to an S&M convention or something like that, where you have a whole bunch of practitioners at a pretty much civilian hotel, there's a lot of these around, and people do drive with them for hundreds of miles in their trunks, and they set them up.
Well, so Don,
looking rather
you
bewildered.
might not have a yard.
I don't think I could put that in my backyard or by the beach. Like I just
just tell the neighbors. Tell the neighbors it's a trampoline.
Rig it into a hammock, and you can have it kind of like
just
on your
use the
balcony or
sling
something.
aspect of it and accept that it's going to be a sling and not a hammock.
actually, if I had a sling and I had a backyard, I might just hang it from a tree and use it as like a tire swing. I think that might be fine. Yeah.
Dan.
So is that your second idea, Dan? Or?
I guess it is now. I don't know. I don't think I have a really good. My other idea is again not very Christmassy. It's just a really good tip. So I'll save it in reserve. It's not even that interesting. It's not even salacious. So
I guess keeping in my theme of it's hard to find a good bottom.
Here.
So we may have referenced this brand before in the podcast. And I kind of gave them a shout out on Instagram during the hiatus, but Superfit Hero is a athletic wear company that has always kind of had larger sizes, but recently I don't really know how to describe it. They went through a shift and they dropped small and medium sizes so they can carry even larger sizes. So these are kind of like yoga or workout pants that go up to 7X. And they're stretchy. They have pockets, which leggings. I mean, there's someone listening who's like, oh my God, at last, finally. But so they're leggings. They also kind of come in bike short cut and capri cut. They go to 7X, which is like unheard of. It is amazing. And they are more expensive, but it is, I own a couple pairs of these that are from their previous collections that they're amazing quality. It's, American made, fat owned, and they don't impose the fat tax. So basically all sizes are the same price, including just the, This sizing
Nice.
starts at large.
I just love that they dropped out the small and medium because,
Yes.
I mean, one, it's just a great thing for visibility, but also two, as a company, to say, okay, we want to carry more sizes, but we don't want to increase our inventory. You know, why should we compete in the hurly-burly of small and medium where everybody has that? Why don't we go where we're actually needed? And I just love that.
I
yes,
do too.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
What was the name of the company again?
Super Fit Hero.
Nice.
And part of what I love about this is in this this relaunch of their products, in kind of the fatosphere, there's kind of this scale of fatness. It's like fat, super fat, and then I think infinifat, which is basically if you were over 5X. And they had all of these kind of fat influencers showcasing the new products and kind of promoting them and talking about, you know, how amazing it is and like how to be included in a decision by a company to show, you know, these will fit you regardless of your body type.
That is awesome.
Yes. I guess something else that I'll just throw in there. Peanuts are a good fat, and nuts, various nuts. There is it's like a fancy peanut butter company that I love and discovered kind of during quarantine called Big Spoon Roasters.
Oh yeah.
And they do, I don't know, different nut butters. And I actually discovered them through like someone, one of the Bon Appetit chefs just said, you know, oh, I love this peanut butter. I am fond of the chai spice peanut butter.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And the maple cinnamon pecan nut butter.
No, they're really fantastic.
I can't imagine pecan butter. That's interesting.
I don't know. You like pecan pie? Go from there.
Yeah.
I should say that in the days when we were actually allowed to associate with people and have parties, one of the things I used to do as like an appetizer for like the cocktail hour is to have a peanut butter bar. And I would make different flavors of peanut butter and then put out a bunch of crudité or fruits or breads or whatever. And people can just sort of sample peanut butters and people would love it because, who does that?
That's kind of creative and fun. Certainly this would be good for that.
I would also plug, as long as we're talking peanut butter, one of my favorite peanut butter companies, which is called Peanut Butter and Company. And they have a wide variety of like peanut butter and white chocolate. They have a spicy peanut butter. They have a dark chocolate peanut butter. They have all sorts of peanut butter, both smooth and crunchy. So
This is now a peanut butter podcast.
Peanut butter, and I've never tried any of these sort of gourmet flavors. That sounds amazing.
I have this isn't exactly what most people would consider a Christmas gift, but it's more of a bonus. It makes me think of Christmas because you see all those car commercials with like the big Christmas bow on the front of the car. And it's like, I got you a car for Christmas. And it's like, who does that? But so my boyfriend bought a Mazda CX-5 this year, and that has been a fantastic experience. It's so comfy and accommodating. It's a small SUV, so it's not a large car. It's about the same size as your car, Dan, the Ford Escape, I think you have. Similar class, very comfortable. And it hadn't really occurred to me like how much of a shift you can get from company to company for as far as like size and accommodation. Cause I have a 2004 Civic, which it's by no means comfortable, but I can like with the seatbelt extender, I can cart somebody around. And by comparison, when we went up to Santa Cruz a few weeks ago to pick up some gear that I had bought, I rented a car. I rented a full-size SUV, like a large SUV, and didn't think twice about it because I just assumed that would have enough space. And it was almost unusable. It was almost too small.
Welcome to my world. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was shocking to me because I just assumed a larger vehicle would automatically have more space.
Nope.
And
No, they just increase the console size and keep the seats the same goddamn tiny space.
And the seat
it's
belts
maddening.
almost didn't click shut. So these are things that I hadn't fully thought through. And I was appreciating that a company like Mazda is actually making that pretty accommodating.
We've been looking into this because we're looking for a new and larger car, larger in the sense of more interior space, so maybe wider seats or whatever. And it's proved just the most elusive search because sure, you can get a bigger car, but as you just pointed out, bigger car does not necessarily mean bigger space inside. You just get more console and acres of console. And that's not what I need. So if anybody out there, I love this tip, Michael, thank you. But if anybody out there has suggestions of like a fat friendly car, but I am not looking to drive a land yacht. I am not looking
Right.
to drive, an earth fucker. I love the size of my Escape. I'd like to keep it that size and no bigger, but I realize that may not be possible. But so your endorsement that it's about the same size as my Escape sounds fantastic.
It is, and Michael is about the same size as Trevor too. I mean, they're shaped a little differently, but pretty similar.
Okay.
So there you go. A bunch of very desperate Christmas gift ideas.
Desperate or disparate?
A little bit of both.
Oh Lord! As a side note, do not go to Etsy. I spent some time on Etsy looking for interesting things, and most of it, if it wasn't offensive, it was questionable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I got you a nose cozy.
No, that's not what that's for, Dan.
What?
The only thing I could find that wasn't outright offensive was a keychain for chasers that says, "Only trust people who like big butts. They cannot lie."
Oh,
That's cute.
Well,
So-
I think it's time for a bit.
I'm very excited about this. The way Don set this up at the beginning of the show was that we were gonna reinstate our X rating at the end of the show.
Okay, yeah, some of these are maybe a little more raunchy than is really entirely appropriate. I'm already sort of mortified before I start going through them.
Good.
So, what I did this time around is I have taken. So, back when I was younger, and porn movies were things that you could find in video stores or here in Hollywood. They used to put the titles.
Sorry, what? Video stores?
Yes, I know. Back before you were an embryo. So long story short, they used to put the titles for these videos in places that you could find them when you were a little kid or on billboards here in Hollywood as you're driving around. And some of the names were amazing. I remember the marquee for the Tomcat Theater out here was advertising Shaving Ryan's Privates. And it was just one of the best titles ever. And so a lot of them were just regular movie titles that had been renamed, right? So I figured let's make some porno movie titles. Okay. But maybe most of them will skew towards our listener base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give out 3 hints. The hints are designed to try and make the movie that it's based on as easy as possible. And then I'm hinting towards the change in the name that I've made. Okay. So I'm going there. I have got a middling hint, an easier hint, and a God, please, I think you should get it from this hint.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
But when you have an idea of what I'm shooting for, just raise your hand. So as an example,
should we use our buzzers?
just use the buzzer. Use the buzzer. Okay. So as an example, the first movie that I came up with is called The Godfatter. Right. And the 3 clues I've given are: he'll make you a chocolate cake you can't refuse. He'll grant you any request you make on his cutlet spreading day. And the last one would be a movie starring Marlon Brando as a crime boss with an ever-expanding waistline. All right. Okay. So you've got the idea. Here we go. Let's get into it. We'll start off with the more G-rated ones. 2 out-of-work musicians disguise themselves as short, stocky men, since those are the people getting all the musician work.
Some like it fat.
No.
Damn it.
No.
But a good movie nonetheless.
Second clue. I love the scene where it looks like Tony Curtis is going to end up with that hot blonde shorty. He's not for everybody, but a few people enjoy that type. Okay.
I mean, I know the movie.
Gentlemen prefer chubs?
No. If Michael was right with the movie, it's just a different word we're looking for at the end.
Oh, sorry.
The best line at the end is when Jack Lemmon reveals he's not the 5-foot-tall, barrel-chested dude he's been pretending to be. And Joey Brown turns to him and says, "Nobody's perfect."
Some like
we're
it
looking
straight.
Okay, we're looking for shorter, stocky gentlemen. So we're looking for some like it squat.
Squat. So you are trying to keep it vaguely in the same like rhyme
I'm
scheme.
trying to make it sound like what the movie sounds
Okay,
like.
that's helpful. That's helpful.
Okay, so next up.
I still like some like it fat.
I do too.
He may live in a blasted apocalypse hellscape, but damn if he doesn't love his hairy boys.
Apocalypse Now.
He's absolutely furious if he can't get that sweet, sweet man juice.
Do we know this person?
My favorite scene is the one where Tom Hardy goes down on the dude in the fox costume.
Wait. Okay. Now I'm thinking about 5
Buzz?
different movies right now.
Okay, Trevor.
Mad Max Harry Road?
Very close.
Load?
Do we have a follow-up guess? No?
Mad Max Harry
All right.
Load?
Oh, there you go. It was Mad Max Furry Load.
Oh,
okay.
nice. That's close enough. Trevor gets one.
Trevor gets one. Trevor
I think
gets
that's
one.
good. That's good.
All right. Christopher Guest really turned this one up to 11. It's the first mockumentary I've ever seen about a chaser rock star that gets injured while sleeping with his chubby co-star. Oh, Dan is buzzing in.
This is Spinal Fat.
Close enough. This is Spinal Snap. It was. I thought it was pretty impressive that Harry Shearer could pull off all those scenes when he's got the broken back, but he pulled it off.
I like fat.
All right. Our next one. Daniel Kaluuya is amazing in this. I completely believe that his feet were causing him incredible pain. I really felt his pain when he couldn't share the delicious roasts his fiance's family served that first night he met them at their house, or split that beer with her dad. Jordan Peele has almost definitely suffered the uric acid buildup in the joints portrayed in this movie, but I'm pretty sure that no one's ever tried to steal his body.
Get gout?
Yes! Yes! Although you didn't buzz, so the point goes to Trevor.
Just because he buzzed, we didn't know he was going to get it right. Nobody gets the point.
All right.
Come on, it's Trevor. Of course he was going to get it.
I've got 3 more. You ready?
Oh my God. All right.
I admit, I was sort of surprised at how intense those intimate meetings were when the Bears grabbed Richard Dreyfuss and probed him. I did think it was an interesting choice to make the alien so hairy. I admit, I was sort of surprised at how intense those intimate meetings...
Buzz. Close
Yes.
Encounters of the Bear Kind?
Close enough. Close Encounters of the Furred Kind.
Of the what?
Third.
Of the what?
The
Furred
Furred
kind.
Oh. Okay.
Yes. And somehow I repeated the first hint on the third line. So good thing you got it when you did. Okay, here we go. I was terrified when that gigantic boat ran into that massive pair of breasts. It was heartbreaking watching those poor passengers
Buzz.
running everywhere, losing their minds with
Buzz.
fear as those gigantic breasts loomed over
Buzz.
the ship. Michael.
Titanic?
Close.
Titan tits?
There's a lot of fear going on here. A lot of fear. A lot of worry.
I'd go move on then. I don't know what movie you're talking about.
All right. The last clue, I thought it was a shame that Jack never finished drawing Rose because he was too afraid of her chest. All right. The movie is Tit Panic.
Oh.
Very close.
Oh, you changed 2 things. Okay.
Lots of fear. Lots of fear. There you go. All right. Our last one, I question. Oh, this one. Oh, I shouldn't do this one. Okay, we're doing this one. I thought it was a strange choice for Steven Spielberg to direct a porno and featuring Superman. It was hard watching that scene where Superman, still dressed in his secret identity, spent all that time wandering around trying to figure out where he was before that nasty band of wandering tops found him and made him their own.
Oh my.
I mean, I never thought I'd see that poor, disoriented Superman bottom for so many guys. Harrison Ford didn't turn in his best performance, though those secret identity glasses didn't fool anyone and he looked totally disoriented.
I don't care. Where can I see this?
Hold on. I'm just running through the
Michael's
the
gears are
Rolodex
turning.
of movies that this could possibly encompass. It's so many.
Okay, everybody. The movie is Riders of the Lost Clark.
Oh.
Okay. For some reason,
I
I
don't
couldn't
see that.
remember
Yeah.
the name of the first Indiana Jones movie. I can remember all of the rest of them, but the first one was eluding me.
Do you want to hear some of the ones that didn't make the cut?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, here are the ones that didn't
Yeah.
make the cut. Plump Fiction,
I like
Oh, I like
The
it.
Seventh Meal,
Oh, right.
Diet Hard, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bum,
All right.
Wade Runner.
I don't get that.
This one didn't really fit, so it got thrown aside. Ferris Bueller's Gay Quaff. I really liked that one.
It's cute.
Cockwork Orange, American
Okay.
Booty,
Nice.
The Breakfast Cub. I thought that could have been fun. All right, I just couldn't say this one on air, but fuck it. Cum Hog Polar Bear.
I don't get that.
What is that?
Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh.
Cum Hog Polar Bear. Booty and the Priest.
Oh,
Yeah, I know, a little specialized there. Jurassic Pork, but I figured that's an old one. And of course, that Hitchcockian classic rear dildo.
I want to. I still want to.
Is there another place for that? I don't know.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Did you guys come up with any of your own movie swapped porn titles?
Fat Men v Super Chub, Dawn of Justice.
Nice.
I am so there.
Somebody has to make that.
Exactly.
Dan, Michael?
That's not a title. That's a pitch. No, I got nothing. I'm just enjoying this. So far, I want to see. So far, I want to buy tickets to 2 of these.
Well, do you have any fat-themed porno movie names that you would like to share with people?
Yeah, write us and let us know, preferably in a private message.
And where can you do all of this? Oh God, let's see if I remember this. It's been so long. I realized like halfway through the episode, I'm like, oh yeah, I have to do that thing at the end where I say everything. We're on Twitter and Instagram as @BigFatGayPod. We're on Facebook as the Big Fat Gay Podcast. Leave us 5 stars there. Leave us 5 stars on Apple or Stitcher. If you want to see all the links to these lovely products we mentioned, go to www.bigfatgaypod.com.
Yay.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
Heavily simplified.
Welcome back. We're back. It's getting to be cozy, hot cocoa weather.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Maybe you're listening and you're sitting on your couch looking at your Christmas tree that you put up, and you see there's a box under the tree. So, and then you look at it and it says to whatever your name is from the Big Fat Gay Podcast. And you open it up and it's a little tiny Michael and he's holding a urine shield. And he looks up at you and says,
Open wide.
No.
Not what he says. Not what he says.
That is not okay.
Watch out, I guess.
Well, if he says open wide, you should look out.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Oh, you see what happens when we let you have time off, Michael?
Yeah.
Look what happens.